The Railway to Kakia, 9211. By
Part-time Tales.
The cabbie, for the first time, glanced over his shoulder, then back at the road. Everybody knows about the station, suicides, murders, and all of that hubbity-bubbity. But it's the tunnels that we locals stay clear of. Suddenly, they both had a realization as they leaned back, turning to each other once again. "Wait, so dark, creepy tunnels no one's explored on video," Noah said as Cara continued the sentence. "An established urban legend that doesn't have the complete story." They both paused as their eyes and mouths widened, realizing they had found what they were looking for and the money was well spent. As one, they both blurted out together, "We've got to show this!" Excited, they leaped into each other's arms, jumping up and down in the back seat. The cabbie, seeing this, shook his head, realizing the sheer ignorance of the two. "Keep in mind, the reason Indians avoid the tunnels is because some ancient evils predating human structures linger there," he said, realizing that his words were falling on deaf ears. As the two of them began to clamber back and forth, piecing together what they were going to do when they got there, the cab driver just shrugged and continued driving. "Some people have to learn the hard way," he whispered under his breath, realizing there was nothing he could say to stop these two's stupidity. It was midday as the taxi pulled up to the train station. Noah and Cara hopped out, bubbling with excitement. The train station itself surprisingly didn't have that many people, considering it was around 2 p.m. in a heavily trafficked area. Noah shut the door and went to the window, counting out the rupees for the cabbie. As he handed the wad of cash to him, he caught eyes with the cabbie, who was staring at him intently. "You sure you want to do this?" the cabbie said as he took the money from Noah's hand. Noah, in a resolute voice, replied, "Absolutely. This is going to be the best video we ever did." The cabbie just shrugged, putting the bills in his pocket. While still leaning in the window, Noah pulled out another bill and waved it at the cab driver. "Hey, if you can tell me more about this guy in red we're supposed to meet, I'll make it worth your time." The cabbie looked at the money and then back at Noah. "Thank you, but no," he said, turning his attention toward the road. "I want no part of that." Noah just shrugged. "Suit yourself." The cabbie gestured with his hand, still not looking at Noah. "Just follow the paper Karima gave you. And may the gods be with you." Before Noah could say anything, the cabbie began to shift gears, indicating that he should back away from the car. He pulled his head out of the window and took a step back as the cabbie bolted off, what could only be described as 0 to 100. Noah clutched his girlfriend out of protective instinct. They both stared at the cab and then looked at each other. "Guess he has another fare to get to," Cara said, shrugging. Noah replied, "Maybe," as he gestured her onto the sidewalk. They stood staring at the train station, unsure where to go. Cara pulled the paper containing the instructions out of her pocket. Slowly, she unfolded the paper as they began to walk forward, with Noah's arm on her back guiding her so she wouldn't trip. "Head to the center of the station platform and ask 3 people if they know the man in red. Once you do, he will know you're looking for him. After he accepts your offer, he'll tell you where to go." Noah stopped them both, hearing the odd instructions his girlfriend just read aloud. He snatched the paper from her hand, skimming it once again. "Ask 3 people? If he accepts your offer," he proclaimed with an irritated tone, showing visible signs of confusion. Cara shrugged her shoulders softly, replying, "I don't know, maybe he works here and gives private tours or something." Noah nodded his head in frustration as his eyes began to skim the path ahead of them. "Works here? More like lives here. Probably a bum looking for a handout." He gestured up, pointing in front of them to a metal staircase. "Looks like the platform entrance." Hearing this, Cara said nothing and proceeded to walk forward. Noah placed a hand on her back again, still exhibiting a protective instinct. Attempting to bring optimism to the situation, Cara began to talk about the video they were about to make. "I can't wait to get up there and start getting some test footage," she stated, just realizing the light show. I wouldn't have worn shorts if I knew we were going to be exploring tunnels. As her feet began to go up the stairs, a dirty smile went across Noah's face. He couldn't resist. He took his hand off her back as she proceeded up the stairs, drew it back, and gave her a fierce smack right on her bottom. She jolted up one more step, stopping and turning around with the dirtiest grin on her face. "Hey," she shot back, "none of that on camera." Noah threw his hands in the air. "Sorry, I couldn't resist. Besides, we always get better views when you wear shorts, you know that." Cara squinted, trying to hide her smile. She turned around and began to walk up the stairs, continuing the conversation. I know. I just don't want to get scratched or bitten or catch the flu." Noah, 2 steps behind her, nodded his head, still sporting a devilish grin. I know, he replied, "but hey, it's all for the views, and the show must go on."